For the first time in history, a controversial experiment funded by a grassroots movement of red-blooded Americans just like you has uncovered the root cause of high blood pressure and how you can control it without needing any toxic-filled medications. Experts say this could cost big pharma fat cats up to $19 billion a year. Conducted by the world-leading scientists at Bristol University who had the guts to defy the medical swamp, the study has shocked the entire community by clearly showing that high blood pressure is triggered by a never-before-seen tiny organ. This previously unknown organ stresses out your heart and arteries, pumping fast, panicky blood through your entire body, causing your organs to function in high alert mode and crashing your cardiovascular system. This independent experiment also led to the discovery of a 30-second South Korean method that has been helping thousands of HBP sufferers to get healthy, strong, and worry-free. This method is so powerful that it can bring your blood pressure into the safe zone naturally and with zero effort, without you having to follow any restrictions or take any nauseating meds in the process. In fact, this solution will help you take back your independence, as well as relax and enjoy delicious foods and drinks again. You'll always be in control, whether you like to go for a long car ride to visit some friends or travel to your favorite vacation place. And even in those fiery bedroom moments, when you'll be able to rest assured that no matter how hard your heart will beat, you'll always be in the safe zone with your blood pressure levels locked in no matter what. The reason why it works so well is because it addresses the only and true root cause of high blood pressure. You need to know that no matter what doctors or big pharma have led you to believe, high blood pressure is not caused by your age, genetics, or lifestyle choice. Instead, as Bristol scientists have recently discovered, high blood pressure is caused by something deeply disturbing happening inside your neck at this very moment. Something that turns your body against itself, stressing out your arteries, heart, and brain. Once you'll discover what it is, you will have the power to completely rebuild your cardiovascular system and even clear years of damage, just like the 187,500 other people did. People like Tommy Sr., 71, from Rochester, New York, who wrote to us, "John, I have to admit, it all sounded like nonsense to me at first, but my wife insisted I try out your solution. Thank God I did. My blood pressure is down so much that my doctor said I can get off both of the prescription drugs I've been taking. I have so much energy, it's unbelievable. The best thing is, I don't have to worry about the horrible side effects of the medicines ever again. Thank you so much." Barbara, 68, from Quincy, Massachusetts, who said, "For over 10 years, nothing helped me manage my blood pressure. I went through so many med schemes and combinations that I get nauseous just thinking about it. The side effects made my life a living hell. But then I heard of this amazing new discovery, and it has been a real lifesaver. I can play with my grandkids and sit in the kitchen for hours making cookies for them. I couldn't be happier to see my life go back to normal again." Joey M., 65, from Nashville, Tennessee, who sent us the following email. "After so many years, I finally feel free. No more measuring my blood pressure all the time, no more worrying, no more doctor visits. I have no more fatigue, pain, or anxiety. I hope more and more people will find out about this. I am certainly telling everyone I know. You too can enjoy the same freedom starting today. Doesn't matter if you're 40, 65, or 75 years old. It doesn't matter for how long you've been trying to get your blood pressure in check. If you're suffering from high blood pressure for just a few months or for decades. Nor does it matter how many medications you've tried and failed or what your medical condition is. Listen, if you're doing everything humanly possible to keep your blood pressure levels in check, from always being on a diet to enduring those side effects of those hellish pills, and you still have problems, in the next 5 minutes you'll discover why your body has turned against your cardiovascular system and why it will sabotage every single treatment unless you give it the only thing it needs. The only organ you should pay attention to and treat when it comes to high blood pressure. Hint, it's not your heart nor your arteries. the home breathing test that instantly tells you whether you need immediate medical attention or not, and the ancient method I uncovered after spending 1 month among Buddhist monks in a well-guarded temple in South Korea. A method that can not only unclog your arteries, but also greatly increase your lifespan, even if you've suffered from potentially deadly heart or brain conditions. Just imagine never having to check your blood pressure again or endure the side effects of the meds every single day. Never having to worry about heart stroke, brain stroke, or losing your independence in a split second. Instead, imagine feeling like you're in your 20s again, full of energy, free to move as much as you want and go wherever you want. Able to walk miles to your favorite coffee spot without breaking a sweat. Sit out there in the sun without being concerned that you will faint like a damsel in distress. Able to drink 2 strong espressos, have the extra fat ribs with all the sauce, put a double portion of salt on your potatoes, and eat dessert too. After that, in the evenings, have mind-blowing time with your spouse in the bedroom like they deserve. Then, both of you fall asleep and enjoy a deep, uninterrupted rest without any of you fearing that you will croak in the middle of the night. It would feel like getting a new lease on life, wouldn't it? So, let's not waste any more time. It's time you broke free from the high blood pressure jail. My name is John Myers. I'm 58 years old and live in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, together with my dear wife, Jenny. I want you to know right now from the beginning that I'm not a doctor, I'm not a health guru, nor a clever scientist. I'm just a normal guy who, for his entire life, has worked as a massage therapist. You see, a massage therapist needs to have strong hands and very good upper body strength and stamina. That's why, ever since I decided on this career, I've always been active, ate as clean as possible, and took my vitamins every single day. Even so, after hitting 50, my body began to feel weak. I was getting headaches, I was feeling tired all the time, and sometimes I had difficulty breathing after just a couple of stairs. Small tasks like fixing a chair or going shopping not only took me longer, but also seemed a lot harder than they used to. What bothered me the most was that I could no longer do massages all day long. I had to cut the number of clients per day. Of course, I blamed everything on my age. After all, I was no spring chicken anymore, right? Little did I know back then that my age had absolutely nothing to do with it. A few weeks after my 54th birthday, everything took a turn for the worse. It all started at our daughter's wedding party. My wife and I were extremely excited and at the same time nervous as our little baby girl was getting married at only 23 to Ian, an American-Korean chemistry professor. As you can imagine, a lot of things had to be done before the reception. I had to make sure the cake arrived in perfect condition at the right place and time, and take care of the guests answering questions or taking phone calls. Even though it wasn't such a hard job, from time to time I got dizzy and had to stop and catch my breath. I admired Young-ho, my future son-in-law's grandfather, who at 80 years old moved furniture around and helped carry things with the ease of a teenager. I remember thinking that South Koreans must have some pretty strong genes, given the fact that he was way healthier than me, even though he was 30 years older. Now, the wedding ceremony was one of the most touching moments I've ever witnessed. The brides and groom's vows just brought everyone to tears. I was so happy for my daughter, so enchanted by how beautiful she looked in her long white dress that I would never have imagined the most horrifying experience was just around the corner. You see, as the bride's father, I was supposed to make a toast at the dinner table. I was incredibly nervous, not going to lie to you. When the moment finally arrived, all eyes were on me. And now the bride's father will make a toast, the MC announced. My hands got really cold and sweaty. I could feel the tie getting tighter and tighter around my neck. Somehow, I managed to unfold the piece of paper where I had everything written down and stood up. But the moment I stood up from my chair, my vision got cloudy. All I could see were floaters. Then an excruciating migraine hit me like a shovel. I felt a painful pulse inside my head like someone was using my skull as a drum. Then I heard a pop. The next second, I went blind in my left eye. I couldn't understand what was happening. A few seconds later, weakness took over my body and I crashed to the floor. "Dad! Oh my God, Dad! What's wrong?" I heard my daughter's terrified cries like it was coming from far, far away. I could not speak, nor move for that matter. I was barely conscious. "Call 911, I heard my son-in-law's voice. "Everyone step away from him," said Yong-ho, the Korean grandfather. Then he approached me. "Can you hear me, Mr. John? Breathe exactly as I tell you, and you will be good, okay?" he continued. I did exactly that, following his instructions, and with every breath, I felt my chest lighter and lighter, my pain fading away. Even to this day, I am convinced that if it weren't for him and his breathing exercise, I'd be dead by now. This exercise that I'm going to reveal to you soon was what kept me alive until the ambulance came. At the hospital, they gave me the most horrifying news. "Mr. Myers, you had a stroke caused by high blood pressure. Unfortunately, you'll never be able to see again with your left eye, but you should count your lucky stars that you're alive." What? High blood pressure? I had high blood pressure? When did this happen? And how could I lose my sight in just 1 second? What did they mean there was nothing they could do about it? Could I have done something to prevent it? My head was exploding from all the questions, and the doctors just shrugged their shoulders. "They don't call it the silent killer for nothing," one of the nurses said. I thought things couldn't get worse until I tried to get out of bed. My left side, from my arm to my back and leg, felt heavy, numb, and slow. I could barely move on my own. It took tremendous willpower to get to the toilet. As it turned out, my nerves were also damaged, and if everything worked well and I was lucky enough, I would partially recover in 4 to 5 months. I felt like a cripple, and I was scared out of my wits. I truly hope no one will ever go through what I've been through. That's why, before I get to the second part of my story, there's a crucial thing that I want you to keep in mind. A simple test that could save you or your loved ones from the terrible complications of high blood pressure. All you have to do is answer one simple question. Do you often feel the need to take a deep breath because you feel like the air is just not enough? If so, you need to check your blood pressure and see if you need immediate medical attention. And you'll see in a second why the way you breathe is a clear sign of dangerous and potentially fatal blood pressure levels. Now, after I got out of the hospital, as you can imagine, the doctor gave me a fistful of pills that made me incredibly sick. For him, I was just another patient. He didn't really care what was best for me. You might know that when it comes to high blood pressure, there is no one-size-fits-all med scheme, and you basically turn into your doc's lab rat before they get to the right dosage for you, if ever. The side effects squeezed the life out of me. I couldn't sleep. I was always dizzy and nauseous, and I frequently had chest pain. One time, I even lost consciousness and fell in the middle of the street. Every morning I woke up coughing. It was like I'd gotten 20 years older in 1 month. And no wonder I was having such a hard time. According to the National Institute of Health, the NIH, the commonly prescribed blood pressure drugs don't work for 52% of the people who take them. Then, I was supposed to follow a diet so restrictive that I lost my appetite altogether. I remember sitting for hours trying to convince myself to have just a little bite of the saltless spinach. I also tried herbal supplements, teas, acupuncture, and even meditation, hoping for a faster recovery. But aside from some temporary relief, those methods seemed far from a long-term solution, at least for me. They could barely help me cope with the side effects of the meds. I mean, how could I ever get well if the pills that were supposed to treat me made me even sicker than I'd ever been? Adding to this, after the stroke, I basically had to relearn how to walk and move around because the left side of my body was still damaged. I was a mess. My wife had to literally carry me around for 5 straight months before I could even take a shower by myself. Seeing the desperate, exhausted look on her face every time she had to help me get dressed shattered me to pieces. And even though my condition was slowly getting better and I was trying to act normal like a true husband would do, one evening she straight up refused to make love with me. She was too afraid I would get a stroke while in bed with her. It was like she took my manhood away. To this day, it pains me to even think about it. But I cannot blame her because, you see, she was right to do so. As the real tragedy was that despite my best efforts, every doctor visit ended the same way. My blood pressure was still high, and I was still at risk of having a heart episode or going blind in my second eye this time, not being able to see anything ever again. The thought of me becoming a burden to my wife for life was unbearable. I was supposed to protect and support her and our family, not to make her retirement years a living hell. Plus, she wasn't getting any younger either. If something would have happened to her, how could our daughter take care of both of us? What choice did she really have now with the baby on the way, other than putting me or her in a retirement home? During all this agony, the only thing that kept me sane and functioning was the South Korean breathing exercise. Whenever I felt my blood pressure was rising, I would breathe just like Yong-ho had shown me, and I would feel like a weight had been lifted off my chest. I couldn't stop thinking, why did something so simple work so well? Why did it manage to calm my body better than any blood pressure meds or treatments? So one day, tired of ruminating bad thoughts, I opened my laptop and decided to research everything about breathing exercises and blood pressure. Was there a connection between the way you breathe and high blood pressure? So I began spending a lot of late night digging through the internet, reading hundreds of articles and studies on medical databases. When I had better days, I even went to the National Library of Medicine and devoured every book I could find. Until one day, I came across the one study that turned my luck around. What caught my attention was the fact that this was an independent experiment, meaning the breakthrough was funded by a community of common folks who had no other hidden interest than just to find real answers and solutions that could really help them get back to their normal lives. Here's what it said. Your high blood pressure is caused by your body thinking you are suffocating or not getting enough air. Researchers at Bristol University have recently discovered a tiny organ that tells your body how much air you are supposed to take in on every single breath. This organ, which doctors call the carotid body, is no bigger than a grain of rice and is found in your neck between two major arteries that feed blood to the brain. The small organ that not many people have heard of plays a really big role in keeping you alive. You see, its main function is to sniff blood oxygen levels and, like an oxygen reader, to trigger an alarm warning when these are below the normal level. So, what it does is to signal the brain to adjust the breathing rate and blood pressure. But if this oxygen reader is not working well, your body thinks that you are drowning or in deep trouble. Even if, let's say, all you're doing is buying some groceries or watching TV, it will make you gasp for air out of the blue. And it's here where all the problems start. If your body thinks you do not have normal oxygen levels, it will automatically make you breathe faster and harder than it should to compensate for this. In turn, this stresses out your heart, and that has to work double duty and overworks all of your arteries that all have to deal with this fast traveling, panicky blood pumped through your veins. As a result, your arteries struggle to expand and contract at a fast pace. Then they get inflamed and hardened from all the pressure and effort. Basically, you are functioning on high alert even though nothing is happening to you. Your body is actually killing you while it's trying to save your brain from not dying from a lack of oxygen. This was truly unbelievable, and for sure, not a single doctor ever told me about such a thing. Could it be because they wanted to keep me and folks like me on the meds? Or were they just ignorant of the latest medical breakthroughs? Honestly, I don't know. But after reading all these, suddenly everything made sense to me. Why? I was breathing heavily even after taking a few steps, feeling like my body had just gone through a tremendous effort, or why HBP was truly the silent killer. I mean, who would have suspected that HBP is caused by every breath you take? Nonetheless, it also explained why the breathing exercise works so well. It was clear to me that once you activate the oxygen reader and empower its activity, your oxygen levels and blood pressure levels will be normal again. The only question left was, how? So I kept digging. And the next thing I found made me take the best decision of my life. South Korea was among the countries with the lowest numbers when it came to high blood pressure. Moreover, not only did this country use breathing methods for blood pressure since ancient times, but also in this modern age, South Koreans invested in new breathing devices research. From that point on, it was clear what I had to do. I immediately called Young-ho, who after the wedding got back to South Korea, his home country. I needed to know where he had learned this exercise from. Did he know any other exercises? At first, Young-ho was more than happy to chat with me, but after I asked him about the exercises, his voice became hesitant. I had to beg a couple of times until he finally caved in. I'm only telling you this because you are now family. A long time ago, Young-ho was sick and had nothing to eat or anywhere to live. So, in exchange for food and shelter, he served at a Buddhist temple for 3 years. Since he suffered from high blood pressure and because he had no money for meds, the monks taught him the special breathing techniques in order to keep his high blood pressure in check. In addition to this ritual, he remembered that he also took a spoonful of crushed herbs every morning. Every monk did it, so he did it too without questioning or daring to ask what was in the mixture. Even though he left the temple 1 year later, he never had problems with high blood pressure again. Hearing all these, I knew I just had to get into that temple. My time was limited, and while the breathing exercises helped me a lot, my blood pressure was going out of control more often, while at night I felt like I had a plastic bag tied around my neck. Sometimes I feared I would suffocate during my sleep. I needed something that worked better and faster, and I reasoned that the key to all this was the monk's special mix of herbs. Even though Grandpa warned me several times that no one had ever dared to ask what was in the recipe, I bought a plane ticket to South Korea the next day. I still struggled a lot to get around, but I could finally walk without needing the help of my wife, who, by the way, thought I was out of my mind for doing this. Seeing me at the airport in Seoul, limping but determined to get to the Buddhist temple, Young-ho knew he had no choice but to use his old connections and get me in. After 10 days of waiting with Grandpa's help, the monks opened their gates for me. They had one condition. I had to give something in return for their hospitality. Considering my condition, all I could offer was a massage of the tired feet of the monks every day. Every morning at 5 a.m., sharp, everyone would wake up and do the breathing exercises that Young-ho had shown me, followed by an hour of meditation. Here's the breathing exercise that can stabilize your blood pressure. I truly hope it will help you at least as much as it helped me. Sit or lay down in a quiet space, close your eyes, and relax your muscles. Inhale through your nose, counting to 4. Pause briefly after inhaling and allow the air to rest in your lungs. Exhale through your nose, counting to 4. Pause briefly after exhaling to feel the emptiness in your lungs. You can repeat this exercise for as long as you'd like. The most important thing is that you keep the count equal and visualize the air going into your belly, chest, and then head. Sometimes I would do this exercise for 3 minutes, and sometimes I would do it for 10 or 15. The monks dedicated at least 10 minutes. Then we would have breakfast and get a spoonful of herbs with a big glass of water. When I first saw the spoon of herbs, I was excited like a little child on Christmas morning. Seeing my curiosity, one of the monks told me the herbs would help me breathe better and have more focus during the long hours of meditation. Well, I can tell you, those herbs did a lot more than that. They worked so well that I was soon able to do a lot of chores around the temple, like sweeping off the entire front yard and even planting vegetables during the day, no matter how hot it was outside. I moved with ease, and my blood pressure levels were as good as they could get. However, I spent most of my time helping around the kitchen. I did my best to befriend the monk that was in charge of preparing the mix of herbs and serving it. He was a very tall, thin man in his 70s and had one of the brightest, warmest smiles I'd ever seen. At the end of my stay, I asked him, my heart pounding out of my chest, if I could take a small bag of herbs for the long way home. God bless him, I will never forget the way he winked at me and slipped me a small batch, just enough to last me for 3 days. For the entire flight, I held the small bag tightly in my hand like it was the biggest treasure known to mankind. When Ian, my son-in-law, came to pick me up from the airport, I told him everything. I showed him the mix of spices and asked him if he could help me decode it, considering he has a PhD in biochemistry. He immediately agreed, as he was equally curious what were the ingredients that saved his grandfather's life. So, we rented a lab from one of his colleagues. The lab was only free after 6 p.m., so we would mostly work at night. Ian would single out the ingredients inside the formula and try to discover what they were. I would note everything down. We spent many restless nights, but in the end, it was worth it. We uncovered the 5 herbs and spices that did wonders both for me and Yang Ho. Then we had to recreate it. The hardest part was finding the ingredients in their purest organic form and combining them in the exact ratio. By now, you must be very curious and anxious to find out what this ultimate solution contains and, most importantly, how does it work and why does it work so incredibly well? Here's a short step-by-step explanation of each powerful herb and the effects they have on your blood pressure, arteries, and whole body. Step 1. Get your body off the high alert mode and quickly stabilize your blood pressure with passion flower. There are about 500 known species of passion flower, but we have discovered the only one that monks used in their miraculous morning ritual. Early studies suggest this particular species boosts the levels of GABA in your brain. GABA is a compound that lowers brain activity and therefore wipes off anxiety, allows your body and arteries to relax, and helps you sleep better. Another experiment from 2018 revealed that this passion flower contains a special enzyme that, when combined with the same GABA compound, lowers blood pressure. A stress-free, well-rested body is stronger and more receptive to treatments. This means that from this point on, your organism will absorb any nutrient, mineral, or vitamin like a dry sponge. Step 2. Empower and raise the activity of the oxygen reader in your body to keep your blood pressure in the safe zone with Nopal. Now, your body is receptive to recovery. It's time to feed the carotid body, or as we call it, the oxygen reader. Nopal, a cactus that the monks found in the dry, arid plains that surrounded their temple, has the unique ability to fix the oxygen reader and make sure it functions properly. This means every time you take a breath, the right amount of oxygen will go into your system and the oxygen reader will signal the brain that all is in order. Hence, no more fast-traveling, panicky blood pumped through your veins. Your arteries will relax and your heart will work at a normal pace. In fact, a new study has shown that consuming Nopal is superior to taking pills. The reason? It has a special type of antioxidant that destroys free radicals. As you well know, free radicals cause age-related diseases like the hardening of arteries, disturbing the oxygen reader activity, and sending your body into high alert mode. A 2004 experiment published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition shows that the antioxidants in Nopal fight oxidative stress. In a 2-week trial involving 18 volunteers, researchers found that Nopal reduced oxidative stress and improved the antioxidants level in blood. Step 3. Repair years of damage done to your cardiovascular and respiratory system with marshmallow root. Asian marshmallow root has been used as a folk remedy for thousands of years to treat respiratory, heart, and digestive conditions. A study from 2005 found that marshmallow root was effective in relieving respiratory diseases and balancing the oxygen levels in the body. Within 12 days, all 62 participants experienced a whopping 86 to 90% improvement in symptoms. Scientists also investigated the potential of marshmallow flower extract in treating various heart conditions. Researchers found that taking the flower extract for less than 1 month had amazing effects on the heart and arteries. Step 4. Clear and revitalize your blood while unclogging your arteries with Corydalis. We've sourced our Corydalis right from South Korea. The root of this plant is known as Yanhosek in Korean. It means blood vitalizer. It was no wonder the monks had chosen to nourish and regenerate their entire body through clean, well-oxygenated blood. This is the moment when any of the organs already affected by years of high blood pressure get a second chance. Healthy, fresh blood moves through every tissue and resuscitates the kidneys, lungs, brain, and eyes, helping them function to their full potential again. Plus, Korean Corydalis is known to have anti-coronary artery disease effects and anti-inflammatory properties. Some say it can unclog arteries easily and act as a watchdog for bad cholesterol, keeping it at bay. Step 5. Double power up your arteries and heart health with poppy seed. Poppy seeds, more specifically the subspecies coming from South Asia, speeds up the healing process by relieving any leftover tension from your arteries, calming down your entire nervous system, and keeping blood pressure levels under check 24/7, well into old age. The fascinating thing about this plant is that it works for both high and low blood pressure. Moreover, poppy seeds strengthen your body and brain by ensuring a deep, restful sleep and boost in your memory and focus. After adding the last touches, I was the first one to try out our formula. All I had to do was take 1 tablespoon every morning with a big glass of water, just like I used to during my stay at the Buddhist temple. Easy peasy. In the first days, nothing really happened. Maybe I had a bit more energy, but I wasn't sure. I was a bit discouraged, I have to admit, but thinking about how well I felt while taking the herbs mix at the temple gave me a lot of hope. But at the end of the first week, something clearly changed. My body definitely felt stronger, and I could move around more without getting tired. Then, the following weeks, it was like one miracle after another. First, every time I measured my blood pressure, everything was in check. At first, I was worried the effect wouldn't last, but that wasn't the case. Every time it was less than 120/80. All through the day, I was brimming with energy, and all through the night, I slept deeply and woke up fully refreshed the next morning. And it wasn't just a feeling. When I visited my doctor and he saw how much my numbers had dropped, he couldn't take his eyes off the monitor. Shortly after that, I decided to eat one of my favorite foods, a big portion of juicy ribs with fries, topped with barbecue sauce. After finishing it, I was expecting for my body to punish me, but nothing happened. I felt indestructible. You can imagine, I was in the best mood one could be. No more stress, no more checking my blood pressure all the time, and my libido was through the roof. I will never forget the big, satisfied smile on my wife's face after we made love just like we used to, without worrying for a second that I would faint on top of her. Seeing my progress, we couldn't help but wonder, if it worked so well for me, would it work for other people too? So, Ian posted an announcement on various forums and support groups for people with blood pressure disorders, asking them to discreetly test out our pure organic formula. Soon enough, we had 53 volunteers. They each received a daily report to follow their progress. We were prepared to wait at least 3 weeks for the initial reports to come back. But what happened exceeded even our wildest dreams. Even after a couple of days, we were getting call after call from everyone in the study, claiming their blood pressure levels were better than they'd ever been. They felt completely normal again, like they had never had high blood pressure. When we went to collect the final reports, the results left us dumbfounded. Not a single person reported palpitation or chest pain or weakness, tiredness, or dizziness. Most of them claimed they could eat whatever their heart desired and felt amazing while doing so. Some of them were astounded by how well their bodies worked, their digestion was smooth, their kidneys were doing a good job, and their joints were more flexible. Others couldn't believe their ears when their doctors agreed to give up the prescription pills. One thing was for sure, all of them felt at least 10 years younger. So much so that their friends, family, and colleagues were shocked every time they saw how vibrant they looked. To think, all they had to do was to use a pain-free, natural mixture. After seeing all the results and messages, it was clear we couldn't keep this life-saving treatment all to ourselves, especially since everyone in the study kept asking us for more of our formula, for them and for their dear ones. After all, our formula was a work of art. Highly absorbable, pure and powerful enough to repair years of damage caused by bad oxygen levels. More importantly, the mixture fit everyone, no matter their age, the severity of their condition, or how long they've been dealing with high blood pressure. Just a couple of bottles of this mixture, or more, depending on how affected their oxygen levels were, could strengthen the oxygen reader to the point where it could properly work 24/7 on its own without needing any help. So, after taking the right quantity of mixture, one would never need to worry about their oxygen reader going haywire, causing damage, and stressing their entire body ever again. However, we still needed to find a way to get our formula in as many hands as possible. If we were to produce the formula ourselves, we had to spend days trying to source the purest ingredients from all over the world and thousands of dollars to buy them. Then, weeks to extract them from the plants. At the end, we had to adjust the ratios with incredible precision. The result? We would have enough natural pills to last 30 people for a week or so. We needed a much better plan. So, Ian suggested that we buy the ingredients in bulk and contact a large, modern yet discreet manufacturing facility in the USA that could take care of everything. This way, together with our small group of supporters, we could produce this potent mixture in quantity that we wanted and in the form of an organic supplement. So we started looking for recommendations in our community and asked our test subjects to help us. When it came to the quality of ingredients, we had one non-negotiable request. They need to be the real thing, pure and active. The plants needed to be sourced from local growers that let them naturally reach their full maturity and use no herbicides. 100% effective, prepared the right way and in the right amount in order to keep their properties intact. Safely processed, under strict sterile standards with regularly disinfected equipment. Tested by an independent third-party laboratory to ensure that what's seen on the bottle is what's found on the inside. You wouldn't believe how many counterfeits are on the market. I remember we jumped for joy when we found a facility that was both FDA registered and GMP certified that had a high-level disinfection policy to keep any germs or viruses at bay. Since the proprietary blend was 100% natural, I didn't have to wait for approval to make the first batch. We call it Arteris Plus, the only 100% natural blend that addresses the root cause of high blood pressure, the faulty oxygen reader organ that causes your body to function on high alert mode. We've sourced the purest, highest quality 5 ingredients and put the exact quantities into an organic supplement that works super fast. Every single natural pill is manufactured in the USA in our FDA-approved and GMP-certified facility under sterile, strict, and precise standards. We are regularly disinfecting the equipment used to process ingredients and package our bottles. Arteris Plus does not contain any dangerous stimulants or toxins, and it's not habit-forming. And while getting rid of your high blood pressure problems is easy as apple pie with Arteris Plus, the formula is so powerful that it can do what no other pill or intervention out there can. Because it not only perfectly balances your oxygen levels and blood pressure levels, purifying your blood and clearing your arteries of fat and toxins, it rebuilds your cardiovascular system from inside out while protecting your brain, kidneys, and bones, increasing your energy and libido, and keeping you fit and young-looking well into old age. All without needing to pay a single penny on toxic pills or treatments that barely have any effect. 187,500 people, and counting, have already transformed their health and taken control of their blood pressure levels with Arteris Plus. People like Samuel T., 71, from Savannah, Georgia. The look on my doctor's face when she saw the numbers. She even did the measurements twice just to make sure my blood pressure levels were that good. Priceless! Honestly, I feel like I'm in my 30s. I sleep well, I eat well, and I got my strength back. Annie, 57, from Denver, Colorado. Getting my blood pressure levels in check was nothing short of a miracle for me. Imagine how shocked I was when the annoying ringing I had in my left ear also disappeared. What a relief! I still can't believe it. SK, 63, from Flint, Michigan. My mind just works better, you know? I can focus better, and when I stand up, I no longer get dizzy. I used to go to the doctor every 2 weeks, but now they said I can go every 3 months. All you have to do in order to experience the same amazing results in your artery health is to start using this convenient and easily absorbable supplement as soon as possible. The solution is much simpler than you'd think, and you can get access to everything in the next 90 seconds. Knowing all of this, it's obvious why Arteris Plus dominates any other option to fixing high blood pressure. Nothing else out there proved to work long term. Of course, you could put your hopes into blood pressure medicines, but there will be a lot of trial and error until your doctor gets the right dosage for you, if ever. Not to mention those horrendous side effects that make you feel like a terminally ill patient. Listen, if your doctor is truly honest, he or she will tell you that very few people benefit from these medication schemes. As I mentioned before, the National Institute of Health recently published that the commonly prescribed blood pressure drugs don't work for 52% of people who take them. Or you could say yes to one of those crazy restrictive diets. Aside from the fact that you would have to eat bland food for the rest of your life, unless you have a dietitian at your disposal 24/7, you never know if what you're eating is the correct choice of food or quantity for you. Maybe you're thinking about trying out one of those well-advertised herbal supplements. From what we know, it's incredibly rare for them to contain the same dosages as in the clinical research that proved their benefits. Plus, there's no guarantee that random supplements found online or on supermarket shelves have been tested for purity or contain bioavailable ingredients. Or maybe you want to give holistic treatments a shot, like acupuncture, massage, or even teas. But even though these methods are very good, they still don't have the power to address the root cause of high blood pressure. Unlike Arteris Plus that can get the job done while chasing away your fatigue and anxiety and helping you fight against disorders like vertigo, tinnitus, or memory loss. Now, if you're ready to say yes to this big change, you need to first ask yourself, how much is it worth to you to be in full control of the way you feel and look? No fears, no health risks, and all your colleagues and friends dumbfounded by how energetic you are and how amazing you look. Just take a second. Imagine how much that would be worth. $100,000? $10,000? $5,000? Even though my son-in-law recommended I sell a 30-day supply of Arteris Plus for no less than $997, considering the 2 years of research, work, and tests that we've invested in this perfectly concentrated supplement, and even though my wife suggested $597, seeing how I'm a whole new person now, while our suppliers would have asked for $397 just for the high-quality ingredients, and even though many of the 187,500 people who got to experience Arteris Plus said they would gladly pay triple, thinking how easy it is to use, this isn't about money for me. I'll never forget what I felt when I went blind in one eye in front of everyone at my daughter's wedding. Nor will I forget the fear of knowing I was prone to brain stroke that could lead to paralysis at any second, or the endless, horrendous nights when I was tossing and turning inside my bed, wondering how would my wife be able to even take care of me at her age. The constant worry of becoming a burden. I never want anyone to feel as helpless as I did. That's why I'll never ask for $597 or $397 or half of that. I just want to cover the cost of the ingredients and keep this site running for as long as I can. Even though I'll have to charge $99 for one bottle of Arteris Plus soon, and one bottle is surely a lot less than a visit to the heart doctor, only while this website remains online, which may not be that long given the incredible threat it poses to big pharmaceutical companies, you can get your very own 30-day supply of Arteris Plus for a one-time 100% risk-free investment of $69. That's right, just $69. And that's not all. If you order a 3 or 6 months package, we'll give you an even bigger discount. Here's why. I have seen the effects of Arteris Plus on a lot of patients and have run a lot of tests. That's why we recommend you take this supplement for at least 90 days, just to make 100% sure that your oxygen reader, the carotid body, functions perfectly every single second. Honestly, I cannot estimate exactly how affected your oxygen reader is, how much problems it has caused, or for how long it has been like this. Nor can I estimate how damaged your arteries are at this point. This depends on many factors like the strength of your genes, your lifestyle, or where you live. That's why, as a rule of thumb, after seeing the positive results of more than 187,500 people, we recommend you take at least 3 bottles, especially since it could take more than 75 days to make sure your oxygen and blood pressure levels are in the safe zone. Also, 3 bottles bulletproof your entire cardiovascular system and make sure you enjoy a good blood flow every single day all through your body. Or, if you want to turn back your age clock and boost your libido, focus, and mood while making sure you're stayed away from HBP-related conditions like tinnitus, vertigo, or memory loss, 6 bottles of Arteris Plus are all you need. Besides, there's one more crucial thing that you need to know. Missing just 1 day of Arteris Plus might compromise weeks of progress. Each day, when you look in the mirror, you'll see the strongest, healthiest version of yourself. You'll be feeling more confident than in years. But if you hit the stop button on the detoxifying ingredients of Arteris Plus for just 1 day, it might take weeks or even months to get them working at full capacity again. Until then, your brain and body might go on high alert and cause yet again damage to your arteries. So, you might lose some of the benefits. Not going to lie to you. And so don't risk running out of Arteris Plus. Please, take into account that Arteris Plus is selling incredibly fast. And once it will be sold out, it will take us 6 to 9 months to produce a new batch, as we're willing to accept only the purest ingredients, otherwise its efficiency would be compromised. Of course, we're committed to supporting you every way that we can, so we're going to let you order a batch of 3 bottles or 6 bottles for a huge discount. You won't be seeing Arteris Plus anywhere in stores, so secure your stocks now at the lowest price possible. Plus, with every order made today, you also get free shipping. How does that sound? Take a look below. Once you order, you'll be taken to a secure checkout page. Just fill in your payment details using a credit card, debit card, or PayPal. Immediately after you fill in your information and confirm your order, your bottles of Arteris Plus will be shipped for free right to your doorstep. If you order the 3 bottles or 6 bottles package, which we recommend as we estimate we'll run out of stocks anytime soon, you'll also take advantage of a huge discount. Just click below to select your package. If you're skeptical, we totally understand. You've tried a lot of methods. You've spent a lot of money. Went through so much pain and nothing worked. I am so confident that Arteris Plus works that I'm going to give you our ironclad 60-day money-back guarantee. If you don't experience any dramatic improvement or you're not content for any reason whatsoever, we will issue a full refund, no questions asked. All you need to do is contact us within the first 60 days from your purchase. It doesn't matter if you used up the entire bottle, we will still give you your money back. This means you have 2 whole months to decide if Arteris Plus is for you or not. No hidden fees or subscriptions, just a safe and secure one-time simple payment. All you need to keep in mind is that Arteris Plus can be found only on this page, and it's not available for purchase anywhere else. This is your only chance to grab this exclusive formula. Once again, Arteris Plus is selling very fast, and once it will be sold out, it will take us 6 to 9 months to restock on the rare ingredients and produce another batch. Plus, Remember that missing one day of Arteris Plus can compromise a full month of progress. So, if I were to give you just one piece of advice, this would be, don't risk running out of Arteris Plus. Listen, by 2026, it is estimated that the high blood pressure medicine market will increase up to $19 billion. And you don't even want to do the math on the cost of care in case you have a stroke. I almost went bankrupt after my ordeal. No wonder big pharma companies have been mercilessly hunting down anyone who dares to make public a natural, easy alternative solution to their overpriced, useless pills that don't even address the root cause. They can smell where the money is coming from. I am getting threats almost every day. After all I've been through, risking your family's safety is not something that you can do for a long time, as you can imagine. Please, make your choice today while this site is still up. Choose the package you want below. Listen, when you think about it, you really only have two choices ahead of you right now. Option 1, stop following this presentation and leave this page. Do nothing. Keep going the way you are now, fearing every step you take and risking serious disorders. Honestly, you never know how much time you've got left until your blood pressure will cause permanent damage. It could be tomorrow or a year from now. They don't call it the silent killer for nothing. Spending your days worrying all the time, never fully living and always fearing that you'll lose your independence, doing this for months, years, or even decades. It's not going to be pleasant. Option 2, risk nothing at all today. Grab Arteris Plus right now. You'll be surprised at how well it works and how free you can feel. So just click below to make your choice, enter your payment details on our secure order form, and place the order now. We'll immediately ship your bottles directly to your home. Every order comes with free shipping, no matter where you live. I can't wait for you to experience every single benefit that Arteris Plus has to offer. Still here? Great. I wanted to take a second and answer the most common questions I get about Arteris Plus. I just want to make sure that you feel 100% comfortable with your decision to order today. Number 1, how and why does Arteris Plus work? Arteris Plus works in a very simple yet powerful way. As the latest scientific research has shown, your high blood pressure is caused by your body thinking you are suffocating or not getting enough air. Scientists at Bristol University have recently discovered a tiny organ, the carotid body, that tells your body how much air you are supposed to take in on every single breath. This tiny organ normally sniffs the level of oxygen in the blood and, like an oxygen reader, responds when levels are not right. It signals the brain to adjust the breathing rate and blood pressure. If this air thermostat oxygen reader is not working well, your body thinks you're in deep trouble and functions on high alert, which leads to HBP. Once you empower and raise the activity of your oxygen reader in your body, your oxygen levels and your blood pressure levels will be normal again. You can do this naturally just by using a few key and natural ingredients. Arteris Plus was inspired by those precise ingredients. 2. Is Arteris Plus safe? Arteris Plus has been designed for all ages and medical conditions. Addressing the root cause of high blood pressure, poor levels of oxygen inside the blood, is the most important thing you can do today for long-lasting results now and well into old age. Arteris Plus has high-quality natural ingredients manufactured in an FDA-approved facility under sterile, strict, and precise standards. Each of the ingredients that goes into Arteris Plus is tested for purity and to ensure against toxins and contaminants. As always, if you currently have a medical condition or you're taking other prescription medication, we advise you to show a bottle of this supplement to your doctor before you take it, just to put your mind at ease. 3. When should I take Arteris Plus? We recommend you take 2 capsules with a big glass of water in the morning for balanced oxygen and blood pressure levels. 4. What if it doesn't work for me? Can you tell me about the guarantee again? The more results we see, the stronger we believe Arteris Plus has the power to completely transform your body and cardiovascular system. It's true, though. that nothing works for 100% of the people who try it, as each body works in its own way. That's why every bottle of Arteris Plus comes with an ironclad 60-day money-back guarantee. If, for any reason, you aren't fully satisfied with the results, you can just return what you haven't used for a full, no questions asked refund. 5. How long will this supplement be available to the public? Well, I'm not really sure. But history has shown that Big Pharma is not afraid to spend millions of dollars in legal fees to remove something that threatens its very existence. After all, it makes sense. Wouldn't you spend $1 million in lawyer costs to protect the billions per year you make? So, all you have to do today is click below. Fill in your payment details on our secure order form and submit your order. I can't wait to hear your success story.